A dangerous narrative, Farage's take on the war in Ukraine. Nigel Farage, the controversial figure of British politics, has once again sparked outrage with his remarks about the ongoing war in Ukraine. Farage blames the conflict on the European Union and NATO, claiming their expansion provoked Putin's aggression. This narrative dangerously overlooks Putin's unprovoked invasion of a sovereign nation. Farage's rhetoric normalizes the idea that powerful nations can dictate the existence of their neighbors. His statements, echoing Kremlin propaganda, undermine efforts to hold Russia accountable. By shifting blame away from Putin, Farage legitimizes his actions and endangers global stability. Ignoring the aggressor, placing blame on NATO expansion, Farage argues that NATO's eastward expansion threatens Russia, breaking promises made to Moscow. This reasoning ignores that NATO is a defensive alliance and its members joined voluntarily for protection. Farage's narrative disregards the agency of the Ukrainian people and their right to choose their alliances. It also overlooks Russia's history of aggression from Georgia to Crimea. By framing the conflict as Western provocation, Farage absolves Putin of responsibility. This dangerous narrative emboldens Putin and undermines international accountability. Farage's stance disrespects Ukrainians fighting for their freedom and sovereignty. A history of division, Farage's political legacy. Nigel Farage is no stranger to controversy, marked by divisive rhetoric and fear-mongering. As the former leader of the UK Independence Party, he played a pivotal role in the Brexit campaign. Farage's tactics have left a lasting impact on British politics, contributing to polarization and distrust. His pronouncements on Ukraine align with his long-standing worldview, viewing the EU as an enemy and Russia as an ally. Farage's views, while controversial, resonate with those disillusioned by globalization and the political establishment. His ability to tap into public anxieties makes him a potent force in British politics. Section 4. Sunak's rebuke and the broader political landscape. Farage's comments about the war in Ukraine have drawn swift condemnation from across the British political spectrum. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak firmly rejected Farage's narrative, stating that Putin's aggression is unprovoked and unjustified. Other politicians, including Labour leader Keir Starmer, have also criticised Farage's remarks. The condemnation underscores the sensitivity surrounding the war in Ukraine and the potential consequences of Farage's rhetoric. With upcoming elections, the war in Ukraine is likely to dominate political discourse. Farage's rhetoric could resonate with those disillusioned with the government's handling of the cost of living crisis. Section 5. Towards Peace. Understanding the stakes of political rhetoric. Farage's pronouncements on the war in Ukraine highlight the power of political rhetoric. His narrative dangerously distorts the realities of the conflict and undermines efforts to hold Russia accountable. The war in Ukraine challenges the rules-based international order that underpins global peace. By echoing Kremlin propaganda, Farage emboldens Putin and hinders diplomatic solutions. We must engage in fact-based discussions about the war and its implications for global security. The path to peace requires truth, accountability, and a commitment to international law.